everybody, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about everything you need when you have a baby. This is my 7th. I think I have a lot of experience. Okay, no, I know I have a lot of experience, and I'm going to share with you what you actually need, because what you actually need is not really a lot. I know from personal experience that even like after having a few every time, I would be like, right, I need a pushchair system. I'm not going to say new car seat, because you do need a new car seat unless you have one from a previous baby. But I'll be like, I need a playmat, I need a bouncer, I need a baby swing, I need bottles. You don't need all of that. So I'm going to share with you a very simple list of what you actually need when you're having a baby. So please do get a pen and paper so you can write down some essentials, because I'm going to tell you everything you do and don't need. So write it down so that you can keep a good note of it. I have these trip cans. They are so nice. I don't know if you've had them before. I have got a discount code for 10% off, which I will pop in the description box if you're interested in looking at the subscriptions. This isn't an ad. I was gifted them. It's not an ad at all. This video is not sponsored by anyone. They're just really, really nice. And the whole thing is only 23 calories, so it's perfect, and it means I can have it with ice. I'm obsessed with ice at the moment. I'm gonna say, first up, how are you planning to feed your baby? If you're planning on breastfeeding, you don't really need anything. So usually when I've been like planning to breastfeed, but I'm not sure it's gonna work out, I make sure I've got bottles and formula, and I top all that up. But I'm gonna say you don't need to, because when you first had your baby, 9 times out of 10 it's going to breastfeed fine. If it doesn't, somebody around you, your partner, family member, can go and get you bottles, powder, all the essentials. So I'm gonna say, if you're breastfeeding, you don't need to go and get all that stuff. That's just buying it for the sake of it. You probably need like some muslins and some bibs, because all babies are sick. So once you've fed them, you might want to burp them. Breastfed babies don't really need to be burped like bottle-fed babies. But yeah, you might want like some muslins. I think that would be a good idea to get something like that. Perhaps bibs, but probably not for breastfeeding. Probably just if you're bottle feeding your babies. If you're planning on doing more whilst you're breastfeeding, you might want a breast pump. That is an optional extra. I don't really use them. I used them for the first couple. I made sure I had pumped, and I would pump. But to be honest, I would stress myself out trying too hard to build up a supply. And I didn't need to build up a supply because there was no reason for it. I wasn't planning on leaving my baby. I wasn't planning on not feeding it at night. I find that harder because then I find a pump, it's in the freezer, you pop it in the fridge to defrost, then it's cold and you need to warm it, and it's just easier to just feed the baby. But if you do want a bit of a hand in your breastfeeding, you might want a pump. You might also want, is it called a hucker? I'm not sure what it's called, but it's just one that collects the milk. So whilst you're feeding off one breast, the other will leak. And I know people can collect quite a lot that way. So you might want one of those. Again, I've never used one. I'm contemplating it, but I have never used one before. One more thing you 100% want if you are breastfeeding is nipple cream. And don't go and get anything but the Lanoish one. It's amazing. Like, it's even good when you've got sore lips. Every time I breastfeed, my nipples bleed and it's uncomfortable, it's painful just at the beginning. So you're definitely going to want to get that cream. It's about £10, but massively recommend it. It is so worth it. If you're a bottle feeding mum, bottles, formula, a steriliser. If you get the MAM bottles, they can self-sterilise. I say self-sterilise. You can put the bottle in the microwave and sterilise it that way rather than having to get the whole machine. So that's nice and easy. I always like those for that reason. Yeah, you can either get a whole thing that you put the bottles in that goes in the microwave. You can get the water ones. I always like the water ones because I found them easier just to pop on the side. But yeah, you will need a steriliser and a bottle cleaner. I would also highly recommend a prepper machine. I had one since Rose, so I've had one since 2019, 6 years, and it is going strong, and we have used it a lot. You can imagine we've had it for Root, Flossie, Lilac and Hero. When you wake up in the night, it makes your bottles, people have said about them going mouldy before, we have taken the back off ours. It is not. You can run cleaning cycles through them, filters, and they're a lifesaver. They make a bottle to perfect temperature between 4 and 10 ounces. And I couldn't be without it. It's amazing. As I've said, we still use it for Hero, and he is over a year old. Tommy Tippy have really kindly gifted me the newer one. I will show you. And it goes up to 11 ounces, and it just looks so lovely. The jug comes off the back as well, which is perfect, because sometimes the tank can get too hot. and it won't make a bottle because it will make the milk too hot. So you could actually store the jug in the fridge, and it makes it nice and easy to fill up, because otherwise with the older one you need to be taking things to fill the tank up, whereas this you can just take the tank off the back. And it's like a little water filter tank, so you could actually use it for your children anyway. But yeah, I recommend one so highly. I could not have been without ours. As I said, we've had it for 6 years and it's just a lifesaver. They also do a little bottle. I have got one, but I haven't obviously used it yet because I haven't got the baby yet. But they do a prep to go, like a machine where it makes the bottles. I don't know how it works, but let's have a look. Use a hot flask to store boiling water and a cool flask to bring fresh formula feed down to perfect temperature in 2 minutes when you're out. It gives you a bottle and flask. It's got an LED display. When I use it, I will show you it. But yeah, it looks super. Sorry about the shine. So things like that, I really recommend, because I find things like that really handy to make sure you've got everything like that. Nappies, you're gonna need wipes. But for my first few, I would use cotton wool balls and I would use warm water and I would clean them that way. Now, I can't be bothered with that. I'll use wipes, but I did warm them in my hand before because I don't want them to be freezing cold because they're so tiny. So you're gonna need nappies, wipes. If not, you'll need nappies and cotton wool. Sleep. How are you planning on your baby sleeping? I know it is not recommended, but I co-sleep because I'm breastfeeding. I think a lot of us mums do, because you're laying there, you can feed your baby and you can fall asleep with your baby right next to you. It's the best way for me and my baby to sleep, and it's always worked really well with me. Obviously, make sure you don't have the covers on you. I always didn't have the covers on me for like months because it could be dangerous. Pillows away. And yeah, I co-slept. So I didn't get to, sorry, that straw is really annoying, isn't it? I didn't get too worried about what the baby was going to sleep in. I would say like Moses baskets and next to me's and everything like that. If you're breastfeeding, it's probably such a waste of money because your baby's probably not going to sleep on its own, and my breastfed baby's never slept on their own. The only one who did was Rue, and he was completely bottle fed and he slept on his own in his cot. He was such a good little boy. I wouldn't stress about that and I wouldn't worry about that. You could get one just to try it, but don't spend a lot of money on one. Either look for one second hand or look for like a cheap Moses basket, because the next to me things are never what they seem. It seems so lovely to have your baby next to you. It doesn't work like that. It never works like that. So don't waste your money on it because it is such a waste of money. I would say just get a Moses basket. You can get those for like £5–10. They'd really like to be expensive. And also ask around, because my midwife has offered me a free basket with lots of essentials in it that they do for people that can't afford baskets and essentials. And I have said I don't need it, so I couldn't possibly take it. But yeah, she said that our council do that for everybody. If you say you need it, you can have it. So do ask if you are struggling, and do ask if they have that available. There's also like swap shops and things in my area where people donate lots of things and you can go with your things and swap for anything you want, or you don't have to bring anything. You can just pop some money in, doesn't have to be a lot at all. And you can go and pick up free baby things, bouncers, all things like that. So make sure you ask your midwife if they are doing anything like that. And for bottle feeding, I would say for when you go out, I like to be nice and prepared with a bottle with boiling water, a bottle with cold water, a pot with formula in it, like 3 feeds ready, and a bottle warmer bag. So I keep my hot bottle in the bag, and then a lot of the time, by the time you're going to go and feed the baby, it's ready. If not, you can use your hot and cold bottle to make your feed at the right temperature. And also a flask. Make sure you have a flask full of boiling water. Yeah, or you can get the Prep to Go machine, which also should do the same thing. Another thing I would say is, instead of getting like a next to me cot and things like that, is just get a crib. I did that with mine. So Lilac, when she was, I mean, she wouldn't go in her bed for months, but when she did, you could put it on the high setting and she just went straight into a cot. And I realised there was actually no need whatsoever for these next to me things. They don't feel like they're next to you when you put them in that cot. They want to be next to you. So yeah, they don't particularly work. So I definitely would say just go straight for a cot. If you're going to, you won't waste your money on getting a cot because they're going to go in the cot eventually anyway. So rather than all these other contraptions, go straight for the cot. And obviously no blankets, pillows, anything like that. I don't put anything in the cot. With Hero, a big lifesaver was dummies. My others wouldn't take one, but he would take a dummy, and it was a lifesaver. I used the, what are they called? Not bibs, there's another one, isn't there? Frig. I used the Frig dummies and dummy clips, because otherwise you'll lose them. Dummy clips, and if you're not clipping it to baby, clip it to you so you don't lose it. Clip one to changing bag. And dummies were a lifesaver. You can get a little pot you can put the dummy in as well, which sterilises it. I think that's Milton. You put like a tablet in the foam, and then you can keep it sterilised. You can attach it to the pushchair. And there's also an electric dummy steriliser as well you can get, which we used to have for Roo. I would say white noise has always been really handy for my baby. So you can get little sound machines. I know Tommy Tippy have a, which again I haven't used yet, but as soon as I've experienced with all these things, I will do an updated what I have used when I've had the baby. Pip the Panda, it is like a travel sound, and I find those really handy. But if you don't want to go and purchase sound machines, Spotify on your phone is perfect. It used to work a dream for Flossie. I always had a white noise, this Hoover noise. It haunts me now still. On my phone for Flossie when she was just screaming. It helped so much. You are going to want somewhere to put your baby whilst you need to do things. Not that you're going to be able to get on with a lot of things, but if you are, and some babies are dreams, you need somewhere to put your baby. You need to decide whether you want that to be a baby swing, a bouncer, a playmat, or I know you can get these high chairs that bouncers can go on top, which is nice because it brings them more up to level. You sort of need to make that decision. You need somewhere to put your baby though. And I would say if you have pets, we don't, but if you have pets or other children is the thing for me, they will touch the baby. So I usually don't like to leave them on a playmat because people walking around might walk on them, it stresses me out. Just make sure they're properly elevated. It's probably the best idea. And you definitely don't need a playmat until around 6 months old. Don't worry about buying secondhand. It's just so unnecessary. As lovely as it is when you order something and you get something new and you can open it and set it up for your baby, it's such a nice feeling. Once you're over that feeling, you're over it. If you just get something secondhand, it's likely to be well looked after. You will be glad that you did, and you didn't spend a lot of money on it. One thing I could not live without is my baby wrap. So I used a Connie. I will share you in the description a reel I made on it. And yeah, the best baby wrap I found is the Connie. It was about £60. I think you might be able to get it a bit less. It's worth every penny. It goes on to, like, you know these wraps, like I don't get them. This just goes on like a t-shirt. You put your arms for it, you pop it on, you put your baby in it. It's so nice and close to you and snug and comfortable, and it's perfect. So I really highly, especially if you are a breastfeeding mum, recommend a Connie, just because I find with my babies that the breastfed ones are very clingy. So yeah, I really recommend the Connie. Baby clothes. You're going to need baby clothes, but you are not going to need what you think you need. You really need bare minimum. For your own sake, they grow out of it so quickly. I still have clothes with the tags on from the girls that I can now use, but again, you just don't need a lot. Definitely depends on the season you're having your baby in. If you're having it in summer, you're going to want a lot of vests. You're probably not going to want a lot of baby grows and things. Definitely won't want long sleeves. Like, don't just get long sleeves for like, oh, in case I need long sleeves. You won't. You will need vests, and then you can put baby grow on, and that's going to be enough. You won't need a long sleeve. So I would say I'll probably get like between 5 and 7 vests and baby grows. I wouldn't bother with jeans and outfits and things like that. Your baby's not going to be comfortable. You're probably not going to be bothered to put it on them. And colours and things don't even matter too much because you change them so frequently, like a few times a day, that it's just unnecessary. So make sure you're just like really minimal on your clothes. Remember, like everything you can just go and get, like you can order next day, or you can literally go down to the shop there and then and get some more if you really think you need some more. I never buy newborn size clothing. My babies, when they're born, are all around £9, and the newborn clothing goes like up to £9. It never fits them properly. They never fit their feet in it. I go straight for 0 to 3. You'll realise when you need 3 to 6. There's no point buying it before. You don't need to get like all these collections of clothes before, because you'll know what you need when you need it. I found with Hero that I haven't overbought anything. I bought his 0 to 3 clothes, and then when I realised I needed more, then I bought some 3 to 6. And you can like gradually buy pieces when you see bits out in sales and things, but not over the top, like make up a ton of wardrobe now. You don't need baby shoes. You don't need them. They're cute. They are so lovely, adorable, you don't need them. Unless it's winter and you want to get some little booties to put on your baby, you don't need them. So yeah, even then I wouldn't use them. I wasted them, I lost them, never actually used them. I never used the scratch mitts either. I found they're built into baby grows a lot now, but even then I don't use it because I find them uncomfortable for the baby. It just seems horrible to me to have your hands like trapped like that. They grow so quickly and you don't need shoes until your baby starts walking. It is literally just a look. So unless you can afford the look, absolutely fine, you do what you want. So you're gonna need a car seat, essential, and you also don't want a second-hand car seat unless you know exactly where it's come from and you know it's not been in an accident. I would spend more of my money towards a car seat than other things. I like the Nuna car seat and I like the Jovi Kids car seat. I think finding one that will clip on your pushchair for me is a lifesaver. If you stay at home, car seat's not that relevant. If you go out like walking a lot, like I do school runs, so I get the buggy out the car and then a lot of the time your baby is going to be asleep. You don't want to then wake them up. Remove them from their seat to put them in the seat in the pushchair or the Moses basket. If you're going to be quick, obviously if it's a longer walk, you're going to want to take them out. But if it's like just quickly going up to the school and back, like just a quick walk down to the shop or back and your baby's asleep, then I would say make sure you have got a car seat that will attach to your stroller. You can get clips and attachments so you can literally like take them out of the car from their base, clip it onto the pushchair. You don't have to disturb them. That is really handy. So yeah, definitely if you will be doing a lot of walking and things from the car, make sure your car seat will attach to your stroller. You also don't need to go over the top with a stroller system unless you want to. Firstly, try second hand. Secondly, you don't need to. It's definitely more of a luxury. And the brands, I have a really lovely pushchair. So we have a Bugaboo Donkey and it's beautiful, and we've just bought a new one because we had a second hand one. So when I had Rue, we bought a second hand one and we used that for all of the children since. And then we've just realised it's at the end of its time and we wanted a new one, which was a luxury for us. Our car seat will clip onto that and it will go double so Hero can get in it too. But that is a luxury. There's lots of other car seats, pushchair combinations that you don't need to spend that much money on because the Donkey is quite expensive. Yeah, so just have a little shop around and have a look. If you don't drive and you just like walk from your home and back and things, then you probably won't need the whole like car seat attachment things. But yeah, you probably would just need like a more compact stroller. Don't worry about getting the whole buggy system if you're not someone who goes out a lot. From around 4 months, they may start to lay down on a playmat or something, but really like you need like bare minimal essentials up until 6 months. Toys and things are just a bit unnecessary. You could get like some things which will attach to their car seat. They like to look at black and white. They don't want anything too snazzy or noisy. They're just like a few essential bits to look at. So don't go overboard on toys before you realise that they're at the point of needing toys. I think, as I've said, they don't need anything and everything is so easy to get that you can just wait until you realise they're at the point where they need it. Amazon next day delivery, or just pop down to Argos or the supermarket. You're going to get what you need without overbuying and yeah, stressing yourself out with everything they need. So try garage sales, boot fairs. I have said about charity shops, and then I said about the council and their swap shop and also their free Moses basket and essentials. I think you get like nappies and wipes and other things like that. Facebook groups, if you are struggling, then ask people, message on a group and reach out and ask if anybody can lend a hand about anything you need. I think that's pretty much all the essentials that you're gonna need up until that age. I'm gonna be doing a video on what is in my hospital bag, and again I think it's going to be quite minimal this time, a very minimalist hospital bag. I will already have a few on my channel because I've had lots of babies, so if you're interested then have a little search on my channel. I will definitely have a hospital bag video. I am 30 weeks, everybody. Can you believe it? I'm in my 3rd trimester. I have 10 weeks to go. Crazy, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what she looks like. It's just the most amazing, beautiful thing, and I always feel so grateful. I will also do a video when the baby's born, a few months in, of what I actually used for my baby. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. I hope if you're having a baby, then it's giving you some insight, tips and ideas on what you need. Also, if you are having a baby, then congratulations, and I hope you're having a lovely, smooth, healthy pregnancy, and if not, then I hope you're just healthy and happy anyway. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and hopefully I will see you on my next video.